Welcome. Today we'll prove the trigonometric identity that states secant squared of x minus cosecant squared of x equals tangent squared of x minus cotangent squared of x. Let's start by writing out our identity. Let's prove this step by step. First, let's recall some fundamental trigonometric identities that we'll need. Remember that secant is 1 over cosine, cosecant is 1 over sine, tangent is sine over cosine, and cotangent is cosine over sine. Let's start with the left side of our equation. We'll substitute the definitions for secant squared and cosecant squared. Now let's look at the right side. We'll substitute the definitions for tangent squared and cotangent squared. Let's continue with the left side. When we square the fractions, we get 1 over cosine squared minus 1 over sine squared. For the right side, when we square the fractions, we get sine squared over cosine squared minus cosine squared over sine squared. To make these expressions easier to compare, let's get a common denominator on both sides. For the left side, we'll multiply both fractions by sine squared over sine squared and cosine squared over cosine squared, respectively. For the right side, we'll multiply the first fraction by sine squared over sine squared and the second by cosine squared over cosine squared to get the same denominator. Now we can see that both sides have the same denominator, cosine squared times sine squared. Looking at the numerators, we can see that both expressions are equal. Sine squared minus cosine squared over cosine squared times sine squared. And that completes our proof. We've shown that secant squared minus cosecant squared equals tangent squared minus cotangent squared through direct substitution and algebraic manipulation.